Hello, everyone. I'm Emily Carter. And today, I have to say, if you're watching this, you're in for something truly special. What I'm about to share is a secret I've never spoken about publicly. A simple, powerful way to reconnect with your partner that costs nothing, yet could mean more than any expensive gift, and might even save a marriage that's grown cold. This comes from over 20 years of clinical experience, working with thousands of couples and deep conversations with psychologists and counselors. And if you're a man over 50 or 60, please don't change the channel. Because one small change in how you touch your wife could bring your relationship back to life. Like a long winter finally giving way to spring. The big misunderstanding we're all making. Let's face it, many men in long-term marriages, 30, even 40 years, have a sweet, innocent belief, if I just touch the right spot, she'll light up. But here's the truth. That very idea might be the quiet killer of your intimacy. I want to ask you, and be honest now. Do you really know the one place your wife most wants to be touched? Not the places you see in movies. Not the obvious ones. Most men can't answer this. Not because they don't care, but because no one ever taught us how women truly feel love through touch. Women often long for it, but feel too shy to say. Men want to ask, but don't know how. We assume that after decades together, we know each other by heart, but in reality, we might still be fumbling in the dark. I'll never forget a 60-something woman who told me in my office, "Doctor Lynn, I've been married 40 years, but I can't remember a single time my husband touched me in a way that made me feel truly loved." That sentence hit me hard. It's not loud or dramatic, but it carries the weight of so many couples just like yours. Gentlemen, have you ever wondered, why does your wife pull away when you reach for her? Why doesn't that old hug that used to make her laugh now seem to do nothing? It's not that she's changed, and it's not that love is gone. It's because women and men feel touch in completely different ways. Women aren't driven by instinct alone. They're driven by emotion. Here's a helpful picture. Think of men in intimacy like GPS. We set a destination, hit go, and move straight toward it. Women, they're more like walking through a beautiful park. Slow, present, enjoying every tree, every breeze, every moment. Now imagine one person rushing to the end, while the other wants to stop and smell the flowers. How can they enjoy the walk together? The science, why her brain responds differently to touch. In the couples I've worked with, especially those over 50, I often see this. They may still be physically intimate, but the emotional connection feels distant. It's not that love has cooled. It's that women feel things more deeply and more subtly. They don't always say what they need. Instead, they show it. In a glance, in the rhythm of their breath, in a quiet pause, or in how their body leans slightly away when touched the wrong way. But too many men, especially after 50, stop paying attention to these signals. After more than 2 decades as a physician, I can tell you this with confidence. A rushed, goal-driven touch will never bring a woman closer. She doesn't need perfect technique. She needs tenderness. She notices how your hand lands when you touch her and whether your eyes show love, not just desire. And here's the beautiful truth. The key to unlocking her heart often lies in what I call the silent zones. Places most women deeply want to be touched, but rarely talk about. Today, I'll share 7 of these emotional touch points. They're not just sensitive spots on the body. They're doorways to her soul. When you learn to touch her here, the right way, she won't just feel your hand. She'll feel understood. Why? How you touch matters more than where before. We go into the 7 zones. Let's understand a basic truth. Why do men and women react so differently to the same touch? A study from National Taiwan University had couples gently touch the same spot on each other while undergoing brain scans. The results? When a woman was touched, her brain lit up in areas tied to emotion, memory, and empathy. For men, the response was mostly in physical sensation and desire centers. What does this mean? Women don't just feel touch with their skin. They feel it with their heart and soul. For her, a touch only means something when it carries warmth, trust, and emotional presence. And hormones play a big role too. Men are driven by testosterone, energy, action, goals. Women are guided by oxytocin, the bonding hormone, also called the cuddle hormone. Oxytocin doesn't just bring pleasure, it brings deep safety and connection. And for a woman, responding to touch isn't an on-off switch. It happens in 3 stages. 1. Why skin sensation. 2. Reawakening in the brain. 3. Psychological readiness to open up. Only when all 3 are met, gently, patiently, is she truly ready to connect. The 7 emotional touch zones that speak to her heart. 1. The back of the neck, the door to safety. This spot may seem ordinary, right where the hairline meets the neck, but it's one of the most powerful places to build trust. I remember Mr. Chen, 68, from Taichung. One quiet afternoon, he saw his wife alone in the kitchen, looking a little lonely. Without a word, he walked behind her and gently placed his hand on the back of her neck, soft, slow, full of care. She stopped cutting vegetables, stayed still for a few seconds, then slowly turned, looked into his eyes, and tears welled up. After that day, their home felt warmer. She started making eye contact again. She didn't pull away. Key tips. Touch gently. Never too hard or sudden. This isn't about passion. It's about saying, I'm here. You're safe. Let her feel you're asking permission to come closer, not forcing your way into the shoulders, where she carries the weight. A woman's shoulders don't just hold up her body. They carry the invisible weight of life, family stress, grief, unspoken worries. Mr. Wang, 60s, from Kaohsiung, told me his wife had lost a baby years ago. No one blamed her, but ever since her shoulders stayed tense like she was carrying a burden no one could see. He wasn't good with words. So one evening, as she watched TV, he quietly stepped behind her, placed his hands on her shoulders, and gently pressed. Not to fix anything, but to say, I'm sharing this with you. At first, she said nothing. But days later, when he did it again, she turned, took his hand, and leaned her head on his chest. It wasn't about sex, about healing. Cheeky tips. Warm, steady pressure helps release tension. Watch her breathing. If it slows, you're doing it right. Ask yourself, when was the last time I truly touched her shoulders? Not to lead, but to support. Science, grief prevention, comfort today. The hands, a lifetime of love, held together. Her hands have cooked meals, held children, wiped tears, written letters. With age, they may be dry, wrinkled, or stiff, but they still long to be held. The joints and fingertips are packed with nerve endings, among the most sensitive parts of her body. When you hold her hand gently, not just grabbing it, but tracing each finger like you're reading a love letter, she feels seen. We often take hand-holding for granted, but a slow, mindful touch during a walk or while watching TV can bring back the feelings of early love. Cheeky tips. Touch like you're holding something precious. Because you are, use touch to say, I'm sorry, thank you, or I'm here. Her hands carry her whole story. Honor them. Behind the ears, whispering, I still love you. This tiny area, just below the jaw, behind the ear, is often overlooked. But it's incredibly sensitive. The skin is thin, and it's directly linked to emotional centers in the brain. A soft touch here feels like a whisper. Even now, I hear you. I still love you. A 70-something woman once smiled and said, When my husband touches behind my ear, I don't feel like an old woman. I feel like a woman who's still loved. That simple sentence made every man in the room pause. Chicky. Key tips. Use your fingertip. Light, slow, sincere. Try it during quiet moments, side by side. If she turns her head slightly or smiles, you've touched her heart. 5. Inner thighs. A zone of trust, not just pleasure. Many men hear inner thighs and think of excitement. But for most women, this is a trust zone, not a shortcut to passion. The skin is soft, yes, but her response is emotional, not just physical. If you're too quick, too close, or too forceful, she may pull away. Not because she doesn't want you, but because she doesn't feel safe. Real connection here comes from patience, respect, and emotional readiness. Cheeky tips. This isn't about performance, it's about invitation. Let her body tell you when she's ready. Relaxed legs, soft breath. This touch says, I respect you. I'm not rushing. 6. The lower back, the symbol of support. The lower back is where strength and support meet. When you wrap your arms around her waist, not too tight, not too fast, you're saying, you can lean on me. You're not alone. This simple hug from behind, while she's cooking or looking out the window, releases oxytocin, deepening connection. It's not about romance. It's about reliability. D-key, tips, hug gently, like a warm wall behind her. No words needed. His presence. This touch says, I've got you. 7. Lower abdomen, where memory lives. This area holds deep emotional meaning, years of womanhood, motherhood, joy, and even loss. It's not just a physical zone. It's a memory center. Too many men touch here like it's a step toward something else. Fast, direct, goal-oriented. But what she needs is connection, not pressure. Try this. When she's resting or sitting quietly, place your hand softly on her lower belly. Warm, still, patient. Don't rush. Just let your warmth speak. D-key tips. This touch says, I want your heart, not just your body. Let her feel your presence, not your agenda. This is where love, not lust, belongs. Why? This really works, the science behind the touch. You might be thinking, Dr. Kerr, Lynn, is this really that powerful? It's just touch. Yes. And here's why. Studies from Stanford, University of Maryland, and top Asian universities show women have up to 10 times more sensory nerve endings in areas like the neck, ears, hands, and abdomen than men. When touched gently and warmly, these nerves send signals straight to the brain's emotional centers, sparking oxytocin, lowering stress, and creating deep peace. That warm feeling when someone holds your hand or hugs you from behind? It's not magic. It's biology meeting love. Common mistakes to avoid. Even with all this science, many men still make the same errors. Mistake A1. Rushing women's hearts don't open like automatic doors. Forceful or fast touch can feel invasive, even painful. Mistakes 2. Ignoring her response. Touch is a conversation. Watch her breath, her muscles, her eyes. If she tenses, slow down. Remember, a warm hand on her shoulder when she's hurting speaks louder than 100 words of advice. Silent touch can say more than any speech. If K, final words. Change starts in the heart. Let's be honest, men feel touch as a direct signal. Women feel it like ripples in water, spreading slowly from skin to soul. The same touch can feel like love or like pressure, all depending on how it's given. You don't need to be perfect. Just be present. Start small. Touch her shoulder while she cooks. Hold her hand during the quiet moment. Rest your hand on her lower back as you walk by. These aren't tricks. They're tiny acts of love that say, I still see you. I still choose you. I still want to be close. And one day, she'll lean into you again, not because you did something grand, but because you finally understood. You don't need to be a movie hero. She just wants to feel that you still want to touch her. Not out of habit or desire, but because, touching her is touching the love you've built together, year after year. So I ask you again, are you ready to touch her skin and reach her heart? These 7 emotional zones are your keys. Start today with gentleness, with patience, with love, because no matter how old you are, it's never too late to begin again. All it takes is one hand, reaching out with care. If this helped you, please like, share, and subscribe. Your support means I can keep helping couples like yours rediscover love, connection, and joy, no matter their age. And if you're watching this right now, know this, you're not too late. You're not too old. You're exactly where you need to be, ready to love deeper than ever before. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. With care,